I went out into the woods one evening, planning to pick some wild berries. It was supposed to be a quick trip, but I didn't know that part of northern Pennsylvania very well. The trails twisted and disappeared into thicker trees, and before I realized it, I had lost my bearings. The sky turned heavy and dim, and by the time I stumbled out of the woods, night had already fallen. I felt the air grow colder. Silence pressed in from all sides, except the faint rumble of a passing train somewhere nearby.
Not far from the tracks, I saw 4 small houses. They stood in a row, plain and silent, like ghosts left behind by the living. Every window was black, no light, no sound, not even the hint of life. I knocked on the doors one by one, half hoping someone would answer. But each door was shut tight, each house long abandoned. Only the last house, the furthest one, almost hidden by weeds, had a door that swung open when I touched it.
Inside, the place felt wrong from the very first breath. The air was warm, damp, and heavy with the smell of mildew. It should have been filthy after years of neglect, yet it was strangely clean, as if someone had taken care of it long ago and then just vanished. Dust clung to the corners, but the furniture was neatly arranged, untouched. I sat down on the bed, exhausted, listening to the sound of a creak somewhere nearby. Through the single window, the moon poured its pale light inside, and for a moment I let myself believe this would be enough shelter until morning. Sleep came fast. I don't know how long I was out before something woke me. It wasn't a sound. It was more like a command in my head, a pulling. I felt a sudden, irresistible urge to walk to the window. My body moved without my consent, and as I stood, the sound of running water filled my ears, growing louder and louder until it was all I could hear. My heart pounded as I reached the glass and looked out into the night. And that's when I saw it. In the silver light of the moon, maybe 100 feet away, stood a figure. Massive, still. Too tall to be a man, too broad to be anything I knew. It didn't move. It didn't make a sound. It only stood there in silence. Its shadowed form locked onto me, as if it had been watching the whole time. My breath froze in my chest. I felt as though I'd been caught in a trap. The figure didn't come closer. Instead, it tilted its head slowly, almost thoughtfully, as if deciding something. Then, with a heavy, dragging pace, it turned and walked back into the forest. The moment it disappeared, a terrible weakness hit me. My legs shook violently, my arms trembled, and cold sweat soaked through my clothes. I stumbled back to the bed, barely able to breathe, and collapsed into blackness before I even hit the mattress. When I opened my eyes, sunlight filled the room. The clock of the world outside had moved on without me. The sun was already high, noon or later, but I felt no rest. Instead, I felt emptier, drained, as though I had slept through something I couldn't remember. Every part of me ached with exhaustion, and a thick dread coiled in my chest. Forcing myself upright, I pushed open the door and stepped outside. That's when I realized the creek was gone. The sound that had filled the night, that had drawn me to the window, had vanished without a trace. There was only silence, heavy, suffocating silence. I left that place behind, struggling down the overgrown path until I finally reached the road. By some miracle, a car passed, and I managed to get a ride home. But the feeling didn't leave me. For days afterward, something clung to me. My head swarmed with dark thoughts, sharper and darker than I'd ever known before. Death, despair, even suicide, creeping into my mind as if they weren't my own. I couldn't shake the thought that whatever I saw had taken something from me, some piece of my energy, my life. And if it was a man, then he wasn't human. He had to have been at least 10 feet tall, maybe more. I don't know what it was I saw that night. All I know is that I didn't walk out of those woods the same.